What's going on, you guys? It's your boy. You know what it is. It's Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and we back with another one. It's Philly the podcast. Today, we're gonna go over the top 5 disappointments of the decade. So, as an Eagles fan, we've been through a lot of disappointments. You know what I mean? I'm 30 years old, so 27 years of not seeing a Super Bowl, and then we finally got one. So there's a lot that we could go over as far as 3 decades go, but I'm just going to start from 2010. All right. So we're going to get right into it. Like always, please, if you guys are new here, subscribe. Even if you're old here, there's like 70% of you guys that still have not subscribed. So please make sure to smash that subscribe button, kill the like button, all that good stuff. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, here we go. So number 1, and I don't know, maybe I should start doing it like ranking, but I just like doing lists. It kind of goes in the order of the least disappointment to the biggest disappointment. But you guys tell me what order you would put it in, or if you guys would change some of the people. All right, so we're gonna start from the beginning. So number 1, I got Marcus Smith, defensive end from Louisville. He was drafted 2014. He was the number 26 pick. If you guys remember him, he was, I believe, the first draft that Chip Kelly had. Yeah, even when he first came out, I think everybody was like, what? Like, who? There was so many good players that were still available, which I'll go over in a second. But his stats with us for the 3 years that he was with us, we didn't pick up his 5th-year option, and I don't think he played the 4th year. He had 4 sacks. 4 total sacks in those 3 years, 23 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and that's about it. That's really about it. He did end up going over to Seattle for a year, and he got 2 forced fumbles there, 2.5 sacks there for the year. And then after that, he kind of just fizzled out, and that was it. Seattle gets every bit of you out in that defense. So if you're not going to make it there, you're not going to make it anywhere. He was just a terrible pick. Like I said, the people that came behind him make it even worse. You know what I mean? Some of them are like, oh, I wouldn't have expected them to be so amazing. But even we took Jordan Matthews in the 2nd round. I would have took him over Marcus Smith. But anyways, so the people that came right after him were DeMarcus Lawrence. And these are all just the Pro Bowlers. There's players that came after him that were good, decent role players that played way more than him. But we're going to go over just the Pro Bowlers in the first 2 rounds. DeMarcus Lawrence, obviously, for Dallas. Joel Bitonio, I believe his name is. He's the offensive tackle for the Browns, or he got drafted by the Browns. Devontae Adams. He was a 2nd-round pick, kind of a sleeper, I guess, but, he went to the Packers. Allen Robinson from Penn State went to the Jaguars, would have been a great wide receiver for us. And Jarvis Landry went to Miami. All those people went after Jordan Matthews, too, if I'm not mistaken. So, except for DeMarcus Lawrence, I believe. But so we could have had an all-star. We could have had an all-pro wide receiver. Instead, we got Marcus Smith. Yay. And by yay, I mean, what the I'm trying not to curse. But so that brings us to number 2, numero dos. Now, this man, I was going to go either him or I was going to go Nelson Aguilar, to be honest. But this guy got big money, and he didn't really do anything for it. Part of it is our fault, but you can also say part of Nelson Aguilar being kind of trash is our fault too. Not the dropping passes, but not really utilizing them in the correct way. This is another Chip Kelly guy, another Chip Kelly blunder. I think that's going to be a theme for this video. But without further ado, it is DeMarco Murray. So when we picked him up as a free agent. It's always nice to take somebody from your, division rival, especially when it's the Cowboys. We all hate the Cowboys. But I think the Cowboys got the better of us on this one. He came off of a really, really good season. He was the Offensive Player of the Year for 2014. We went ahead and signed him to a 5-year, $42 million, which he played all of 1 year. Now, if you remember, he did get traded to the Titans, which kind of helped us inevitably get Carson Wentz, gave us some pieces to move up and get Carson Wentz. So in that, regard, I guess it is what it is, you know, if you want to look at it long term in the big picture, I guess we didn't have DeMarco Murray. It would have been a little bit harder to get Carson Wentz. Not saying that we wouldn't have got him, because we probably would have got him anyways. In that year, DeMarco Murray played 15 games and got 702 yards. I think he got 1,400 yards rushing the year prior to that for the Cowboys. Now, we did have Ryan Matthews as well. He was kind of injury riddled, but we just ran him out of the gun far too often. That wasn't who he was. We were trying to do sweeps and weird plays with DeMarco Murray when he's just a north-south runner. We were trying to turn him into LaShawn McCoy. It just wasn't working. You know, I hate to say LaShawn McCoy, because we could have just kept LaShawn McCoy. Instead, we got Kiko. Could have put that one on the list too. There's so many things that I just don't get that guy. But anyways, so we did end up trading him, and he did get us Wentz. So in that regard, I guess it wasn't a total loss. That's why I don't have him as number 1 or number 5, however you want to look at it. I don't have him as the worst, the most disappointing. He could have been better if we would have used him properly, but we didn't. And for that, he is on this list. Now, number 3. Number 3 could be number 1 for a lot of people. This, in my lifetime, was probably the biggest draft bust for the Eagles. And that was the fireman. Now, do y'all know who I'm talking about? Say in the comments right now before I even put it up. Do you know? Do you know? So, all right, the fireman was Danny Watkins. He was supposed to be really good. He was a 26-year-old rookie, which is kind of nerve-wracking. You know, they don't do that much. He was a guard, so I guess it doesn't really. He wasn't Brandon Weeden, so you're not picking up an old quarterback that's not really that good. He was supposed to be great. He was supposed to be a franchise guard, if you have those. He played 2 years. Doesn't really have any stats or like plays or moments to really speak of. Didn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL or anything. You know, he wasn't spectacular. He was solid. He just didn't have the drive to play football. He didn't want to play football. He was the number 23 pick, so it wasn't like he was a number 1 pick or anything like that. But still, it was hurt. It hurt us. You know what I mean? It was a huge bust. I did say he didn't win Rookie of the Year in the NFL, but, you know, shout out to him, because he did win Rookie of the Year in Texas as a fireman, and that is not a joke. You can actually look that up. Kind of went down a rabbit hole of Danny Watkins, and that was a really hurtful one. That one, we had a really good offensive line for years and years, and then it kind of just started petering off. You know, people started getting older, and to just swing and miss on somebody that just didn't want to play football, I feel like you should know that. I feel like as a scout, you should be able to, I don't know, like maybe he just lied really well, because like if you just leave in 2 years and like, oh, I always wanted to be a fireman, I never really wanted to be a football player. You can't tell that. You can't tell that in the you know, meetings and draft interviews and stuff like that. I just don't get that. You know what I mean? They ask these players nowadays, like, are you gay? Like, you can't ask a man, do you actually want to play football? You know, that would be a good start, I think. Well, so he's number 3, Danny Watkins, Mr. Fireman, for Fireman. You know, I might just put up like the Lil Wayne music video, Fireman, if it doesn't get demonetized. But anyways, number 4. So we got 2 more to go. Number 4 is Nnamdi Asomugha. And if I said that right, please like and subscribe, because that was hard. I've been trying for a while, like since we drafted him. He was part of the infamous Dream Team. 2011, excuse me, he was signed. And we signed him for a bag. He got a bag, especially at the time. He got 5 years, $60 million. 25 of that at least was guaranteed. And then there was like, you know, accelerators and bonuses that he could have hit. And I'm sure he walked away with probably more than $25 million. He only lasted 2 years with us. So, you know, 2 years, $25+ million, not too bad. Got that bag. Now, as a person, he's probably one of the most successful people on this list. And as a football player, he's probably one of the more successful people on this list as well. Now, as an Eagle, it just did not work out. Obviously, the whole Dream Team thing was like all blown out of proportion. Our backup quarterback said it. So it's just an annoying thing that, Philly haters just like love to harp on, like, oh, dream team. He said it was a dream to be on this team. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I heard. But anyways, Nnamdi came in. He played all right. He was a Pro Bowl alternate for 2012. But overall, what we paid him for and what he brought to us was just not worth it. The Eagles went 12-20 when he was on the team in those 2 years. We missed the playoffs both years. It was kind of like the escorting out of Andy Reid. It was a rough time for a lot of Eagles fans. Tell me if I'm wrong, if you guys were feeling it too. Like, I remember seeing a game, I want to say it was in 2011, that I went to Giants Stadium and we won, and it was like the beginning of the year, and they missed a field goal, and we won the game because they missed a field goal, and I'll never forget that. And we went on to like win 2 games after that game, and I was just so happy I went to one of the Eagles wins. Actually, it was in Philly. It wasn't in Giants Stadium. I'm sorry about that. But either way, it was just a rough patch for Eagles fans, for the franchise. Nnamdi was supposed to come in and kind of give us something we didn't have since Sheldon Brown. We still haven't had since Sheldon Brown. Maybe Asante Samuel, you could say, was probably, our best since Sheldon Brown and, Brian Dawkins and that secondary that we had. So I got him there. He did leave after 2012. We waived him because he didn't want to restructure his contract. And then he went on to play for San Francisco for like $2 million, literally like $2 million. He was waived after a year there, but it's just like, you might as well have just, we probably would have kept you for 2 more years and you probably could have got a little bit more money than that. So I don't know. Now he's like, if you look him up, he's an actor and he does a lot of social justice stuff. He's a great guy, awesome person, not taking away from that. For the Eagles, it just did not work out. Maybe it was just the whole, timing, the whole dream team thing. It just didn't work out. Now, the last person, and this is definitely the worst. Like I know I said in the beginning, I didn't do it from, best to worst or whatever you want to say. This is definitely the worst, the biggest disappointment of the decade, hands down for me at least. Tell me if you guys have somebody else. And this is going to be the first non-player, I should say, Chip Kelly. Chipped Kelly, the clown Kelly, whatever you want to call him, Chip and Dip. I can't stand that. When he first came, I thought he was going to revolutionize our team. He was going to make us the new norm in the NFL. He came in, and honestly, I will always say this, and I've said this to a lot of my friends, and, the hate for Chip Kelly, I think, kind of clouds this perspective, but I personally feel he was not the worst coach. He was a terrible general manager. Now, if he was an offensive coordinator and you kind of reined in his wanting to just, run and gun, no stopping, no huddle type offense all the time, maybe he could have been something better. We did go 10-6 both years he was with us. It was just the people that left, the holes he left when he left. It was just not fun. He made our defense look terrible. You know what I mean? And he's another guy, though, that if we didn't go through a person like him, we wouldn't have got a person like Doug Peterson. I feel like Doug Peterson is the polar opposite of Chip Kelly, and that's kind of why we got him. But the people that, we can go down the list. We can go from LaShawn McCoy. We can go down to, who else did he get rid of? Deshaun Jackson, excuse me. Jeremy Maclin didn't want to come back and play for him. You can go down the list. People did not like him. He did sign Malcolm Jenkins, which was a huge signing. He did get Darren Sproles for us, which was a good get. But other than that, man, he was terrible, dude. And honestly, I'm giving both of those to Howie, because Howie saved our roster. Like, to think that we went from Chip Kelly to a Super Bowl in 2 years says a lot about our franchise and about our general managers. I know a lot of people get mad when Howie doesn't push the button on these big trades, but he gets the job done. For us to go from the hole that Chip Kelly left us in, like the moves that he made, I make them on franchise mode in Madden, and I lose every time because it sucks. It's a dumb move. Everything's dumb. But anyways, so that's my top 5. worst mistakes, biggest disappointments of the decade. What do you guys think? Who would you guys put? I want to give a quick shout out to my nephew. Hopefully you can see that with the Get Back tees. If you guys want one, just let me know. I'll hit him up. He's definitely in Connecticut, so all my Connecticut people definitely hit him up. But other than that, man, you know what it is. It's your boy, and we out here. Fly, Eagles, fly. Peace. What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Joe Castro, a.k.a. Philly Fresco, Philly the podcast. Have you subscribed yet? Have you liked yet? I don't know, but I'm going to give you a couple seconds. This is going to be on a couple seconds. Do it right now.